The Eclipse is the most defining event in Berserk, in the sense that it brings two unique perspectives to those who survived. Guts, who internalizes the horrors of the Eclipse as the Beast of Darkness, going on a revenge quest to wage war against all of demonkind, and Casca, who could not internalize the horrors of the Eclipse. Instead, the horrific event and her subsequent rape caused her to lose her sanity. So here we have two different perspectives. Guts, who uses the horrors of the Eclipse to fuel his rage and vengeance, to vanquish all of demonkind in memory of his fallen comrades. And Casca, who couldn't handle the horrors and lost her mind as a result. However, there is another character who, although was not directly involved in the events of the Eclipse, provides a new interesting and unique perspective, which is often not discussed about in length, and that is Rickert. Rickert is an interesting case. Although a beloved member of the Hawks, he was not involved in the Eclipse itself, and therefore is not a sacrifice. This provides an interesting contrast to Guts and Casca. Instead of being directly involved, Rickert could only speculate of what happened that day. What could have happened to cause his Guts change in demeanour and for Casca to lose her mind entirely? The interesting point to note about Rickert's perspective on the Eclipse is that he experiences the same consequences without the same effect. The Hawks are all still gone, and this affects Rickert just as much as it affects Guts and Casca. Not only does Rickert have to live with the fact he wasn't with his comrades in their final moments, he must also live with the fact that he could never imagine the horrors that Guts went through to lose his eye, his arm, and maybe most importantly, his morality, and how Casca lost her mind in its entirety. Rickert has also experienced apostles before. He saw the injured Hawks get massacred from the pre-Eclipse feast, from the hands of Account and Roshin, so although he wasn't there in the Eclipse, he can at least can gauge the effect of what happened. Rickert puts his grief into doing something practical as a memorial and marker for his fallen comrades. Although he was not there at the Eclipse itself, he must still deal with the grief that his friends are now gone. Creating the sword graves for the Hill of Swords is effective symbolism of how Rickert uses his natural talent as a blacksmith to pay his respect in a melancholy manner. Even Guts takes note of this. Whilst Guts was on a blood-fueled rampage to avenge friends that he ultimately left, Rickert instead paid his respects in an honourable manner. Rickert also provides such an effective parallel to Guts, in the sense that Rickert already became what Guts wanted to be at the end of Conviction. Guts changed his path to that of a protector of Casca instead of pursuing this revenge-fueled quest against apostles, whilst Rickert already reached that same destination with Erica. Rickert looked for Casca when she went missing, but couldn't pursue her due to the fact that Godo was ill, and therefore no one could be able to care for Erica. Rickert still felt responsible for Casca's disappearance, but at the same time, he found a new goal of protecting Erica. Rickert internalized his pain and sadness for the effects of the Eclipse to something noble way before Guts could reach that point. The point that no one could possibly understand, including that of Rickert, was brought to light in Godo's and Guts' discussion. Guts tells Godo that no one could possibly understand what happened that day, and that all his comrades and friends were squashed like bugs. Godo reminds Guts that he abandoned those irreplaceable things and went alone. Godo reinforces, what matters in this moment is not the man that Guts was during the Eclipse, but the man he became after. Compare this to Rickert, who internalized his grief in a noble and practical way, which provides a good stepping stone of what Guts had to become, that of a protector. When Guts finds Casca, and eventually tells Rickert what really happened at the Eclipse after their meeting with the reborn Griffith, this changes Rickert's perspective somewhat. Before learning the truth, Griffith tells Rickert that if he still says he can chase the dream, then Griffith will have no cause to refuse him. Rickert is distraught by the truth, exclaiming that he remained ignorant and comfortable in his new life, whilst not knowing the true cause of what happened to the Hawks. Guts, however, tells Rickert that he could never hate Griffith, because ultimately, Rickert never truly saw what Griffith had become. Guts reminds Rickert of Godo's words, to not abandon what you can't replace. The Hawks are dead now, they're gone, but Rickert has already found new meaning in protecting Erica. He ultimately reached the same conclusion as Guts, and did not need a revenge quest to do so. This all culminates later to Rickert's defining moment, slapping Griffith. Falconia is a paradise, and with Rickert's natural skills as a blacksmith, he has found a place where he could truly belong, but he refuses Griffith. Rickert was ashamed he couldn't take responsibility for what happened to the Hawks because he wasn't there, but reminds himself the one who made all the grave markers was indeed himself. Rickert points out to Griffith that the new crest of the Band of the Hawk is different from the old one, with the shape of the wings being slightly different. This is excellent symbolism, that no matter how much that Griffith tries to replicate his dream and the band, it's always going to be different, and the slight change in appearance matches that Rickert does not have a place in this mockery of the Band of the Hawk. To conclude, Rickert explains to Luca that if this perfect city was built on the regret of his comrades' bitter deaths, then he could not stay, no matter how much of a utopia it is. This helps define what is so great about Rickert's character. In providing a new perspective of the Eclipse different to Guts and Casca's, we get to see him grow and accept what happened at the Eclipse, and ultimately reach the goal of a protector to Erica way earlier than Guts did. And this is what is so great about Rickert. His story in Berserk is one of learning to deal with the consequences of actions without learning their effects beforehand, and how to live in a world where your closest friends die without rhyme or reason. Even when Rickert found out about the cause of the eclipse, instead of internalizing this as rage like with Guts, he instead confronted Griffith's actions with that no matter how much of a paradise he has created, the Band of the Hawk will never be the same, and building a utopia on the bitter regrets of his dearest friends is never worth it. And that is why Rickert is such an important character in Berserk. Thanks for watching.